The sky over Mars was dark and quiet, just how Jake liked it. He was a young man, a farmer on the red planet, living in a small colony with only a few other humans. He grew food in greenhouses, fixed machines, and sometimes, when he got lucky, watched the stars. But that night, something strange happened. A bright light shot across the sky like a falling star, but it moved too fast, and then it changed direction. Jake stood up from his seat outside his house, his heart beating faster. The light crashed into the ground far from the colony. The earth shook under his boots. He didn't wait. He grabbed his flashlight and a breathing mask and ran toward the crash. He found the ship in a crater. It wasn't big, but it was beautiful, shiny silver with strange blue lights that blinked like eyes. The door was open, steam rising from inside, and then he saw her. A girl. She was lying on the ground and not moving. Her skin was a soft silver color, and her hair was glowing purple, floating slightly like it didn't follow gravity. She was not human, but she looked close, too close. Jake slowly walked to her. She opened her eyes and smiled. "You're human," she said in a soft voice. Jake blinked. "Yeah, who are you?" "My name is Zara," she said, sitting up. "You're perfect." Jake helped her stand. She was not injured, just confused. She looked at his hands, touched his face, even sniffed his neck. "Why are you smelling me?" he asked, a little uncomfortable. "I have never seen a real human before," she said. "You smell warm." Jake didn't know what to say. She looked at his arms, touching his muscles. "You are strong," she said. "So much skin, so soft." He pulled away, laughing nervously. "Okay, that's enough." But she followed him, all the way back to the colony. Sarah stayed in Jake's small house. The other colonists didn't know about her yet. Jake told them he found nothing at the crash site. He didn't trust them to meet her just yet. She was strange, curious, always asking personal questions. "How do human hearts work?" she asked. "How does your blood feel?" Jake shrugged. "It just pumps. It keeps us alive." She stared at his chest. "I want to feel it." Jake grabbed a blanket and handed it to her. "Sleep. You must be tired." She smiled. "I do not sleep much." That night, Jake couldn't sleep either. He kept hearing whispers. When he looked at Zara, she was watching him. She didn't blink. Not once. The next day, Jake showed her around the colony, carefully avoiding people. Zara looked at everything like it was a treasure. The dirt, the sky, the water. But most of all, she watched the humans. She asked Jake, "Why are all human bodies different?" He shrugged. "I don't know, just how we are. Some are tall, some are soft, some are thin. It is exciting." Jake laughed. "You really like human bodies, huh?" Sarah turned and stared at him seriously. "Yes, I love them." Later, Jake saw something strange. As Zara walked past a wall, he saw her shadow, except it didn't match her movements. It moved slower. Jake frowned. "Zara, your shadow. It's wrong." She turned to look. For a second, her eyes turned all black. Then she smiled. It must be the light. But Jake didn't believe her. That night, Jake decided to check the crash site again. He told Zara he was going out for a walk. She just nodded, sitting on his bed, brushing her glowing hair. "Be safe," she said, her eyes following him. Jake walked fast through the night, breathing hard in his mask. When he reached the ship, it was gone. No wreck, no fire, nothing. He turned and saw a figure standing behind him. It was Zara. "I told you I don't sleep much," she whispered. Jake took a step back. "Where's your ship?" She walked closer. "Do not be afraid. I came to this planet for one thing." Jake's heart pounded. "What?" She leaned close, her eyes glowing. "You." Jake woke up, but something was wrong. His hands were tied. Thick cords wrapped around his wrists and ankles, holding him to the metal frame of his bed. His breathing mask was on the floor. The air was thin, but he could still breathe, just barely. Then he saw her. Zara. She was sitting next to the bed, smiling at him like he was a gift she waited years to open. "Good morning, Jake," she said sweetly. "What the hell is this? Let me go." Zara tilted her head. "Don't worry, you're safe. I'm just doing research." Jake struggled. "This is not research. This is crazy." Zara stood and walked slowly around the bed. She wore a silver suit, now tight and smooth, with glowing blue lines. It showed off every curve of her body. She moved like water, calm but dangerous. "I need to understand you," she said. "Your body, your heat, your energy. Human bodies are so alive." She placed her hand on Jake's chest. He jerked back, but the ropes held him. "I want to feel what makes you human." Jake stared at her. "You can't just tie people up and touch them." She smiled. "Why not?" After some time, Zara finally let him go. Jake stood up fast, rubbing his wrists. "If you ever do that again—" But she only laughed. "I liked your heartbeat when you were scared. It was fast, exciting." Jake grabbed his coat and stormed out of the house. He needed to think. He needed space. But space didn't help, because wherever he went, she followed. Over the next 2 days, Zara didn't leave his side. She watched every move he made, how he lifted things, how he blinked, how he walked. She stared at other people too, studying them like they were art in a museum. At one point, she stopped in front of an old woman named Carla, one of the oldest colonists. Zara leaned close to her face. "You are soft and wrinkled. Why does your skin fold like this?" Carla backed away. "Excuse me." Jake grabbed Zara's arm and pulled her back. "You can't say stuff like that." Zara blinked. "Why not? It's beautiful. She's lived so long. I want to touch that kind of skin." Jake sighed. "You're obsessed." She smiled again. "Yes, I am." But then something strange started happening in the colony. People began to disappear. First, it was a young worker named Leo. Then 2 others, gone without a sound. No broken doors, no blood, just gone. The colony leaders were worried. Jake was worried too, but for a different reason. Every night, he would find Zara standing still in the dark, her eyes glowing slightly. She never slept. One night he asked her directly, "Are you taking them?" She looked hurt. "No. Why would I? I'd only want you." "But others are going missing," Jake said. "And you're not exactly normal." Zara stepped closer. "I don't care about them. I only want to study you." Jake backed away. "That doesn't make it better." The next day, Jake found something that shook him to his core. Near the edge of the colony, behind an old water tank, he found a piece of skin. It wasn't bloody. It wasn't human. It was smooth, silver, and warm to the touch, like it was still alive. He took it back to his room and held it under a light. It shimmered and moved slightly, like it was breathing. Suddenly, Zara spoke from behind him. "You shouldn't have found that." Jake turned, shocked. She had entered without a sound. "What is this?" he asked. Zara smiled softly. "It's a piece of me. A piece I don't need anymore." Jake stepped back. "Are you changing?" She nodded slowly. "Yes. The more I learn about humans, the more I want to be one." Jake didn't sleep that night. He sat in a chair, holding a laser cutter in one hand just in case. Zara sat across from him, watching. "Do you hate me now?" she asked. Jake didn't answer. "I only want to be close," she said. "Your kind is beautiful. I want to become like you. I want to live in your skin." Jake stood. "You need help, real help." Zara smiled wider. "Then help me." Her eyes glowed softly in the dark. Zara stood in front of Jake with a strange light in her eyes. "I want to show you something," she whispered. Jake didn't trust her. Not after the last few days. Not after people had gone missing. But something about her voice, it pulled him in. She raised her hand. A blue light blinked from her palm. A hologram appeared in the air, A giant image filled the room. It showed her home planet. It wasn't like Earth or Mars. It was bright and strange. Floating towers, endless silver forests, and skies full of glowing creatures. Jake stepped closer, staring. "What is this place?" he asked. "My home," Zara said. "A world where humans are myths." Jake frowned. "Myths?" Zara nodded. "Long ago, our scientists found old signals from Earth. Images, stories, pictures of humans, your bodies, your strength, your emotions. My people became obsessed. We believed humans were extinct." Jake raised an eyebrow. "Extinct? We're not extinct." Zara smiled. "I know, now." She pointed to herself. "I was chosen for a mission. To come here. To bring a human body back. Alive." Jake took a step back. "So, that's why you came. To steal someone?" Zara looked away. "At first, yes. But then I met you." Her voice softened. "You were kind, smart, strong. Everything I read about humans, you are that." Jake shook his head. "This is insane. You can't just take people like objects." "I don't want to take any more," she said. "I want to stay. With you." Jake was quiet. His heart beat fast. He didn't know if he was afraid, angry, or something else. He looked at the hologram again. The image changed. Now it showed another ship, dark, sharp, and cold-looking. It was flying through space, heading toward Mars. Jake's voice was tense. "What's that?" Zara's smile vanished. "They followed me." Jake stared at the image. The ship looked dangerous. "They're coming here?" he asked. Zara nodded. "Yes, they want what I want. But not for love, for war." Jake felt a chill. "What kind of war?" Zara looked him in the eyes. "They want to use your kind, your bodies, your strength, your blood. They want to copy you, to build living weapons." Jake's fists tightened. "And how long do we have?" Zara looked up. "Hours, maybe less." Jake ran outside. The sky was dark, the colony lights flickering in the wind. He looked around at the small homes, the people inside, people who had no idea what was coming. He turned back to Zara. "We have to warn them." Zara grabbed his arm. "They won't believe you. They'll panic." Jake pulled away. "I have to try." Zara looked desperate. "If they find you, they'll take you. Cut you open. Break you into pieces." Jake stared at her. "Then help me stop them." Zara was quiet for a moment. Then she nodded. "I have weapons hidden near the crash site." "I didn't tell you everything." Jake narrowed his eyes. "Of course you didn't." Zara sighed. "Come with me. I'll show you. We still have a chance." They walked fast across the cold red sand toward the crater where Zara first landed. The night sky was still and silent, but Jake felt it. Something was coming. When they reached the crater, Zara pressed her hand into the ground. A silver panel rose from the sand. Inside it were strange weapons, shaped like rods, glowing with power. Jake picked one up. It hummed in his hand. "How does it work?" "Think angry thoughts," Zara said. "It listens to your brain." Jake raised an eyebrow. "You're serious?" She nodded. "Very." Suddenly, a loud sound echoed in the sky. Jake looked up. A massive dark ship broke through the clouds, lights flashing red. It moved like a monster, slow and powerful. The ground shook as it flew low over the colony. Zara's face turned pale. "They're here." Jake held the weapon tighter. "Then we fight." Zara grabbed his hand. "No," she said. "You're too important. If they get you, everything is lost." "I'm not running." "You don't understand," she said. "You're not just human anymore." Jake froze. "What?" Zara leaned close. "You've been changing, Jake, since I touched you. Since we connected. You're not fully human now." Jake looked at his hand. It was warmer, stronger. Something inside him felt different. What did you do to me? Zara smiled. I gave you part of me. You were already perfect. Now, you're something more. The alien ship hovered over the Mars colony like a shadow of death. Lights from the ship scanned the ground below. Every house, every greenhouse, every person. A low, deep hum filled the air, so loud it rattled glass and shook bones. Zara and Jake hid behind a tall rock near the old crater. They're looking for you, Zara whispered. They can sense your change. Jake's heart pounded. His hands were glowing faintly now, just like Zara's. He didn't understand it all, but he felt different, stronger, faster, like his blood was full of fire. You said they want my body, Jake said. Why? Zara looked up at the ship. To create copies, soldiers, living weapons with human strength and alien control. But they need the original. You. Jake's jaw clenched. Then they're not getting me. Without warning, the ground split open near the colony. Alien drones shot out, dark, insect-like machines with sharp legs and blinking red eyes. They landed hard and began scanning everything. One drone walked up to a greenhouse and sliced through it like paper. Screams echoed across the colony. The invasion had begun. Jake jumped up. We have to stop them. Zara handed him another glowing rod. This one is stronger. It connects to your new DNA. Jake nodded, gripping the weapon tight. Let's go. They ran down the hill toward the colony, staying low in the shadows. Explosions lit the sky. People were running. Some fought back with tools and laser cutters. But the alien machines were too fast, too deadly. Jake raised his weapon, aimed at a drone, and thought, stop. A bolt of blue light shot out and hit the drone. It froze, twitched, then exploded into dust. Jake stared in shock. Whoa. Zara smiled. Told you, think angry thoughts. Jake moved fast, blasting drones left and right. He dodged attacks like his body knew what was coming before it happened. Zara fought beside him, using a long silver blade that seemed to grow from her arm. She moved like wind, silent and deadly. For a moment it looked like they were winning. Then the door opened. A massive hatch on the alien ship opened with a deep groan. From it came something terrible. Not a drone, not a machine. A creature. It was huge, twice the size of a human, with silver skin and black armor. Its eyes glowed red and its body looked almost human, but not quite. Its movements were unnatural. Wrong. Jake froze. What is that? Zara's face turned pale. The first copy. A prototype. Built from old data. The creature looked at Jake and smiled. It ran at them. Jake fired. The blue blast hit its chest, but it kept running. It tackled Jake hard, slamming him into the ground. Jake grunted in pain, struggling. The creature leaned close. Its voice was deep and twisted. You are the final piece, it growled. Join us. Jake spat in its face. Never. Suddenly, Zara screamed and leaped forward. She stabbed the creature with her arm blade. It roared and threw her into a wall. Jake stood, his eyes glowing brighter than before. Energy surged through him. He grabbed the creature's arm, and it burned. The creature howled in pain. Jake's voice was steady. You copied the wrong man. With a roar, Jake slammed the glowing rod into the creature's chest and shouted in his mind, break. The rod pulsed. The creature exploded into light. Silence. Only smoke remained. Zara limped over to Jake, leading silver fluid. You're stronger than I thought, she said, breathing hard. Jake helped her stand. You okay? She nodded. Barely. Jake looked around. Many drones were destroyed. Others were retreating, flying back to the ship. Then a voice echoed from the sky. It wasn't human. We will return. This world belongs to us now. The alien ship began to rise, glowing red. A second later, it vanished into the sky. The battle was over. For now. Back at the colony, survivors came out slowly. Buildings were damaged. Some people were hurt. but they were alive. Jake stood on a roof, watching the horizon. His arms still glowed faintly. Zara joined him. "They'll come back," she said. Jake nodded. "I know." Zara turned to him. "They'll bring more. Smarter ones. Stronger ones." Jake looked down at his hands. "Then I'll be ready." She stepped closer. "You can't fight them alone." "I'm not alone," he said, smiling at her. Zara took his hand. "You've changed too much. You're not just human anymore." Jake looked at her. "Then maybe I'll change the definition of human." 3 days had passed. The colony was quiet, but not calm. Everyone knew it wasn't over. Jake stood near the edge of the crater, his eyes on the sky. His hands still glowed faintly, brighter every day. He wasn't the same man who crashed here weeks ago. Something inside him had changed, something powerful. Zara stood beside him, silent. "They're coming back," she said. Jake nodded. "Let them." That night, the sky broke open. Not one, but 3 alien ships appeared. Larger, faster, deadlier. They flew low, blocking the stars. The ground shook as they released hundreds of drones, and something worse. The sky filled with flying machines, but the ground rumbled. Then they came. Dozens of tall, twisted creatures, copies of humans, each one slightly different. Some had arms like blades. Others had eyes that burned like fire. They were faster than before, smarter. They marched across the red dirt, toward the colony, toward Jake. Inside the command room, the colony leaders looked terrified. "We can't fight this," one shouted. Jake stepped forward. "Yes, we can. We have weapons. We have brains. And we have me." The room fell silent. Jake pointed to a map. "They want me. So we lead them away. I'll take a team, hit their weak points, and buy you time." Zara stepped beside him. "And I'll destroy their command link. If we cut their signal, the drones fall." One colonist asked, "And if you fail?" Jake looked him in the eye. "Then they'll have to kill me to win." The battle began at dawn. Jake led the strike team through the canyons outside the colony. Explosions lit the sky as drones attacked from above. But the colonists were ready this time. They had Jake's alien weapon tech. They had Zara's training. They fought like humans, dirty, fast, and fierce. Jake moved like lightning. His new body burned with power. He slammed into enemy lines, tearing through alien copies like paper. But then the ground shook harder. A massive creature appeared, twice the size of the others. Black skin, red eyes. It spoke in a deep voice that echoed through the valley. "You are not human. You are a mistake." Jake stared it down. "No," he said. "I'm the upgrade." The creature roared and charged. They clashed. Fist against fist, blade against blast. Jake fought harder than ever, each hit shaking the ground. But the creature was strong. Too strong. It threw Jake into a rock wall. He collapsed, bleeding, gasping. Zara screamed and flew in, stabbing the creature in the back. It roared and turned, hitting her with a deadly blast. She fell. Jake saw her hit the ground, unmoving. Something inside him snapped. He stood, glowing. No, burning. Blue fire raced across his body. His voice echoed with power. "You shouldn't have hurt her." With a scream, he launched forward. Every punch cracked the air. Every hit sent shockwaves. He grabbed the creature and shouted one word in his mind. "End." The creature exploded into dust. In the silence that followed, Jake dropped to his knees. He crawled to Zara. She was hurt, badly, fading. Her silver blood leaked onto the red dirt. Jake held her hand. "Stay with me." Zara smiled weakly. "You were perfect." Tears fell from Jake's eyes. "You're not leaving me." She shook her head. "My body is breaking. But I gave you everything. You are the bridge now, between our worlds." Her glow faded. Zara was gone. The drone stopped moving. The copies collapsed. The ships above froze, then turned and left. The invasion ended. Mars was safe. Weeks passed. The colony rebuilt. People smiled again. Children laughed again. But Jake, he was different now. He stood at Zara's grave every morning. Not as a soldier, not even as a man, but as something new. Half human, half alien, full of purpose. He recorded one final message. For anyone listening in the stars, he said, "We are not weak. We are not yours to take." He looked into the camera, fire in his eyes. We are human, and we fight back.